So, good morning, everyone. And this used to be regular and now somewhat peculiar time of being virtually on Zoom together. I find myself just trying to presence and find ourselves and myself here. We've been talking about who am I in our classes. We've been wondering this out loud, and amidst the crisis in our world today, the crisis in Palestine and Israel, and then as it fans out across the globe and touches all of us, who am I? Who am I becomes a very, very important question, deeply important question. Because as we know, this comes down to choice. Not all of it, but much of it comes down to choice. And certainly our actions come down to choice. And so as we've been floating around, there's been a lot of, I don't know, sometimes I call it crunchiness about this, because it's like the questioning and the anchoring and the wondering and the going away and the coming back, of who am I? And there's so many levels on which this truth is being unearthed within us. And the very fact that we're in this conversation is a testament to the fact that we are deeply, deeply connected to all that is happening in this world. Yesterday, I gave a talk at an interfaith gathering in Morristown. And it was quite interesting because I'd had a plan. They asked us to bring a practice. And I'd had a plan that I was going to teach affirmative prayer and be very sort of have a lightness about what I was doing. And that was my plan. And what happens to plans. So I wasn't completely attached to it. I could tell there was some movement in the energy as I was sitting there waiting. And they called a break right before I was supposed to go on. So then I had another bit of time, and I just got immersed in what was happening in the room instead of focusing on where I was. And right after the break, I walked to the front of the room, and the words that came to me about what to do or what I was doing or where I was were stop, look, listen. And so with that, like everything that I had preconceived went out the door, except presence. What I was bringing in that room as me was super available and present. Go inward and listen. Stop, look, listen. How many times is that a wonderful instruction for us as we are really in a place of, I don't know what to do? Now, that can come from a fear reaction, as we've talked about. Stop, freeze, look, listen, am I going to die? What's going to happen? But in this circumstance, it wasn't that. It was stop, breathe, wonder, look at these particular people in this room today and listen. What is it that I have to offer? I won't know until I look at them and until I listen. And so I stood there for a moment in what felt like an hour and was probably not at all more than a split second. And I breathed in with the group, and then we did it again, and then we did it again. And I don't know that I've ever had an opportunity to have such rapt attention on me that I was completely unaware and unself-conscious of. My energy had been absorbed into what I was looking at. And it was so holy. This was an interfaith meeting. There was a Holocaust survivor that had appeared before me, a Muslim imam who had appeared before me. People's hearts were open and wondering, where am I? Who am I? in this place. I was introduced as something completely different, but of course, you know, there's no such thing as completely different. I am the same. And so rather than talk about who we are, I talked about what I saw. And what I saw was such a depth of interest in who am I. And I became very curious about that. Stop, look, listen. And so I just listened within. What would be of service here? What can I do? All of this sort of propelled without my awareness on what was happening. And the answer that came as I looked into the faces of these beautiful humans, these individualized lives, all different, all struggling with their own individual journeys, and all the same. The attention, the curiosity, and the wondering, what can help me today? As the thought arrived, forgiveness. Forgiveness is a place that we start. We often think we have to start by forgiving others. And in this moment, I could see that the forgiveness in this group was going to be for ourselves. The forgiveness was going to land, if it was going to land at all. And most of this is the intellectualizing and the thinking after the fact, because honestly, in the moment, there was very little but love present. It was as if we were all absorbed in one field and I had a mic, so I got to talk. So we brought to this gathering self-forgiveness, deep prayer of owning that which we are holding against ourselves, the self-forgiveness for the judgments in which we lose our way, the judgments that we hold against ourselves that make us act out in the world in ways that are not who we are, and yet become who we are. You see, in the world today, what we're looking at is always the reflection of our inner experience, our inner pain, our inner ego, our inner life. And yes, while I am all those things on some level, I am truly the truth of me is not. And so every moment that we are walking in these moments of this day, we have a choice. Will we be the wounded one? Will we be the one that we are inflicting our own judgments on? Or will we be the love? In that room yesterday, the call to love was so loud, but not louder than it is in the world today, is it? You and I, in this moment, on this screen, at this time, we have personal knowing of each other. And it's as if it's the same group. I knew them that well in that moment yesterday. We together created a field of self-forgiveness. It was felt. It was necessary. It was relieving of our pain. As we hold anything within us, we are kept out of the who we really are, the love that we really are. And so as these calls to prayer hit us, as we listen, as we hear them deeply, as we watch the news, as we see how possibly worse could this get? We are not to forget that we are the love. We are the answer in every single moment, whether we are caught in the news or caught in our own lives. Our choice to make a difference, and to not let go of, no matter how bad it looks, that there is still only one answer, and it is me, it is you, it is us, and it is the love that I am. It is the I am that stands in connection in the center of all of this chaos. The I am is simply it. Love, God, Allah, Buddha, you name it, we are it. And all the other wondering we do about all the other pieces of who is myself, those are also calls to prayer. And so a prayer of self-forgiveness for the judgments that we hold against the very smallest aspects of ourselves is what is called for. And so in these moments, as we wonder, the moments we get caught in anger and fear and doubt and worry, they're like bubbles. And they form and they come near us. What are we to do with them? We are to grasp them. We are to hold them in love. If we judge them, we are pushing them away. But not only are we pushing them away, we are pushed away because we cannot be both things. We can be one thing. The truth of who we are is that we can only be one thing. We can either live in a world of duality, or we can be the one love we truly are. We truly are. And if you could feel what happened in that room yesterday, as we went into the forgiveness for the judgments that each of us were holding against ourselves, you could feel the tone of the room shift, the openness to each other, open, the gaze on me that was so incredibly deeply loving. You too will bring this into your lives as you step into this one knowing. And here I am telling you this and telling myself this over and over and over. And we fall out and we come in and we fall out. But the one thing we need to know is that it is in the self-forgiveness that we are returned to love. It is in the forgiveness of the judgments against the world that we are returned to love. We come from heaven to here. We come from heaven to ourselves. By heaven, I mean the holiness of who we are, the love. We come from that to this, and we embrace it. And as it comes to us where we are in prayer, we embrace it. We don't push it away. We embrace it. We feel it. We hold it. We love it. And we transmute it into light. Love dissolves everything else. This is not highfalutin nonsense. This is power, and this is the one true power. If you want to have any power in the world today, if by any chance, like most of the world, you are feeling powerless, do not pretend that you don't have any power. We have power. Our power is in our alignment with each other and our alignment with this universe as one. We see despair today. We see war today. We see children dying and abducted. We see adults. We see families falling apart. We see buildings being blown up. We cannot help but see. But we hold all of this in the forgiveness of our hearts for any of this seeing that comes to us as separation, because we are one. Listen to this call to prayer. Listen so deeply to this call to prayer in a part of the world where prayer is sanctified as glorious so much. It is constantly belted, sung, yelled into the communities 5 times a day. The holy sites of the world are here in this part of the world, and yet we are still forgetting we are love. We forget it within us first, and that is where we must go. So today, I invite you all with me. Take one thing, close your eyes, go within, one thing that you have a judgment against within yourself that makes you feel distant from yourself, or not holy, or not full, or not love, or not powerful, or not strong. What is the one thing that pops to your mind? Use that one. Are you not worthy? Are you not good? Are you not kind? Are you not something? Or are you bad, wrong, unable, unworthy? What is the judgment? What is it that you are holding against yourself? That if you could forgive it in this moment, you could heal yourself. But not only that, you could heal the world. When you become one, the world becomes one. We are at cause in the matter of our life. So right now, here today, on this screen, in this moment, find the one thing, or the many things, whatever it is, and let yourself land there and say together with me, with your hand on your heart, I forgive myself for the judging of myself as you tell yourself what the judgment is. Let us turn this service today into the holy union of oneness as we let these judgments of ourselves fall away. And if a judgment of another shows up, forgive that judgment also. Forgive that which is within you first, and you will lose touch with that which is within another. This is the answer to the call to prayer as we bow to the innocence of the people of this world who are suffering and our own innocence as well. We say again, I forgive myself for judging myself as. Sit gently and quietly with this. And as I sit with you today, as I see all of you, your names, your faces, your eyes, your love, know that we are not separate. As close as you can come to me and to yourself, we will be one. We will make this choice. If you are doing this exercise with me, you are choosing to be powerful, to be love, and to answer the call to prayer. That we may stand in this energy that is indeed affecting every point of this universe right now. And as we begin to feel the release of this, let us also step into the antidote that is the truth and speak these words to ourselves. The truth of who I am is I am love. I am light. I am grace. I am holiness. I am power. I am strength. I am one. I am one. And if by any chance any part of you is not sure, you're not 100% sure that this could possibly work, you're not as sure as I am that this is the only thing that works, if the inspiration of belief is not strong enough, if the flowing of hope has not held you, if the strength of trust is fallen away, if the depth of your faith is wavering, if the holiness of your knowing is not present, if the power of your surrender is not full, then for this moment, borrow the faith from the field that is around you, from those, from me, and from others who are standing in this today. This is the teaching and this is the work. If you want to know who you are you are the one who holds all the parts of you in love. And you are the one that holds the world in love. This is the lens of spirituality that we hold up to this world that we see reality through. This is not chimera. This is not in vain. This is you living the most powerful life that you and I have to live. There is no separation between me and the child in Gaza. There is no separation between you and the mother in Israel. There is no separation between that mother and that child. There is no separation between those who are perpetrating violence and who are sitting here in prayer. We are one. And if we lift with love, they can hear the response to their tears of fear and scared and anger and hunger and thirst. The gates will open. We are the miracle waiting to happen. This is not something to do tomorrow or later. We are doing this now. We are all the world is waiting for. There is no one else coming unless it's you. You, me, and all of us together in the awareness of this are the power and the strength of this love. And we will carry it together. Again, if you are struggling to understand, to believe, to know anything about this, borrow the faith of those around you. Listen to the voice of love that sings through Ginger. Listen to the creativity that is all around you. Bring in that which you are forgiving so that you may be clear and free and pure and innocent again to see this world in love. You see, I read a post this morning where someone had given up. And it broke my heart that what we're seeing today, is this true that this is all there is? That what we're seeing as the most vivid examples on every screen in the world, is it true that this is all there is, that all our work is in vain? Is that true? That is not true. And so if we affirm the vision that this person thinks is dead, and instead do the next step in our prayer and affirm the vision of the truth of what is real. It is real that our work is necessary. It is more necessary than ever. The call to prayers are getting louder. Will we heed them? Use them in your one-to-one. Because who will go forward in love if we won't? If we can't solve this in our lifetime, it is still here to be solved, and it is still improved by our gifts of love. This pain and suffering is part of today, but it was created from yesterday's pain. It was created from lack of forgiveness. It was created from us not letting go of that which has gone before. We must. And with the depth of compassion, of understanding from our own process, how hard it is to let go, how hard it is to forgive others, and certainly how hard it is to forgive ourselves. Let us step in and revitalize a discarded vision of the world that many are carrying right now. Let us see places where already blossoming. look into a new day that's dawning. Let us let go and stop destroying with yesterday's unforgiveness. We start over again and again, willing within us in this moment, no matter where it is right now. Let us begin again. Let us begin again. Let us begin again. I see a vision where we are coexisting with each other, dreaming of heaven, 1,001 religions, each pointing back to each other in loving kindness. Close your eyes and see it. See it. After your forgiveness, you can see this. We have had it all in our precious world. We coexist with each other, dreaming of heaven on earth. We pray 1,001 ways. We write books in 1,001 languages. We watch as the rivers weave themselves back into the vast and unending ocean of love. We break bread together around the fire. All colors, all creeds, all skins, sharing songs and spices from our heartland, celebrating the fleeting breath of life in every moment that moves through all of us. We have left behind our charred chapters of colonization, genocide, brutality, humbly learning from our wise elders, giving respect where it was due. We honor the sacred waters as the gift of life that sustains us, caring for the soil, planted food forests, ensuring no child ever goes to bed hungry. We truly have it all, a veritable paradise, the fertile rock spiraling us through space, a divine inheritance given to future generations. We can release our generational traumas and programming that keep us under the spell of separation. We can live as allies, one people, many nations. We can stop vilifying our neighbors. We can lift our arms to the sky and all born of ancient stars. We can stop them. We can stop this. We can stop this. The young ones can be taught through our stopping right now. We can stop this. We let this go. We sing again, creation song resounding through our human story. We hold this in prayer. We know this is the resounding prayer of love, and we know that it is actionable. We move against all odds. We be kind against all odds. We take on the 21-day kindness that is being offered to us, a challenge to us to look here, look with love. We can hold our own suffering and everyone's suffering. We lay down every story. We lay down the love with every missing, lost human. And we learn from this. We hold it all in love. And when there is peace, it is done. And when there is not peace, it is not done. And so we go back to prayer and we release and we begin again. And from here, we listen. The call here from Emerson, who is one of the fathers of New Thought, to succeed in life, to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayals of false friends. This is to be human, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know that even one life has breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. And in order to do this, we start by letting go.